Not the most pretty thing, but hey, it'll do.
Yeah, well, it's a lot better than nothing. Welcome,
The,
guys. Oh, fuck.
oh,
Welcome, guys, to the 8th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast. With me, as always, Tyler and no one else. Because no one likes us.
it's because we don't need them.
We don't need them.
They would weigh us down.
It would be nice to have Jeff back.
Well, that's true.
But,
Anybody else? Nope.
nah, fuck them.
Yep.
Fuck those guys.
It means every single one of you.
Yes.
Besides Jet.
Besides Jeff. He's a great guy. So now, if you're watching the video podcast, you can see Tyler has improved his mic substantially with that piece of foam.
That was a free adjustment. Probably twice the quality. $0.
$0.
I'm going to make a review on it, and I'll show you how to do it at home. So we'll have that video up soon.
That foam is just, it's the best. Top quality.
Top quality. You have to look around for it, but man, once you get it, you're golden.
It's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had spring break this week, right?
Yes.
So, you actually played games?
No.
No?
I worked.
Fair
I
enough.
underestimated the amount of time I had after work. Well, I guess I overestimated it, actually. I thought I'd have like a ton of time to do stuff, but man, I didn't. Work just drains you when you're working like 8-hour days. So
Yeah, I don't really work, so I don't know.
you do, but yeah. No, I got my fair share of gaming in, but it really wasn't as much as I was hoping. I was kind of hoping to start some games that I didn't mean to, like Deus Ex and like actually like get into The Witcher 2, but I ended up just playing a lot of Battlefield 3, but I'm kind of like off that right now. I haven't really been like itching to play it.
The new
'Cause it's just-
expansion that they're releasing for it, like the last one, is called Endgame or whatever, looks
Yeah,
retarded.
It just came out. I don't know. Like the problem with me though is I don't know what it added and what was already in it because I really didn't play it that much. Because I was playing like,
It added dirt bikes.
well, yeah, on top of like a million other. It was like a 6 gig patch, so it was, excuse me, quite a bit of content. But I think like I was playing a lot of close quarter maps and I thought it was all like aerial stuff, so I was kind of confused. But I think that was just like actual close quarters expansion, so I should probably like actually research this stuff. But yeah, I think it added. I might be wrong, but I think it added capture the flag mode, which
I don't know.
Man,
Battlefield has always been like 32v32 Conquest for me. This is the only mode I've ever wanted to play. Like, because Battlefield 2 is like all I used to play before Counter-Strike.
that's the appeal of it, is massive amounts of people rather than 5-on-5. So I still don't. Yeah, I mean, it was fun while I played it. I don't know. I don't think I played any of the expansion maps. Plus, flying in planes is kind of difficult because there's always someone like 100 times better than you that can like shoot you down in 2 seconds. So
Okay, that's because the progression system's kind of fucking broken. So, with the vehicles, you need to have the IR flares and shit. Like, you have to have the upgrades. But you can only get the upgrades by flying around and using them. But you're, like, detrimental to your team if you don't have the upgrades and you use them.
yeah,
So it's like, it's broken in that sense.
I can see that. No, it's definitely difficult to like rank up when you're against someone that's already ranked up. But that it's still pretty fun. But I was away from my desktop this weekend, up until today, so I didn't play much of that. Counter-Strike didn't really update, I don't think, recently. I played more of that than I have in a long time, which is really fun. Nothing new to report there, though.
The guy who made the original Counter-Strike's coming out with a new game this month.
He's what?
Coming out with a new game this month?
Is it like the same style or?
It's tactics based again, but there's like vehicles and stuff. It's all counterterrorism stuff again.
Cool. I'll have to look into that because
Yeah, we should play that when it comes out.
is it think it's gonna be like pay to play or
Uh, I can't remember. There was an article about it on Rock Paper Shotgun.
that sounds pretty interesting. I don't think I ever. What did he make like
Like
Counter
he
Strike
made
then like
the very
1.
first Counter Strike game.
Not 1.6, but like what that came to be.
Yeah, like he
Okay.
made the first one.
Yeah, never played it, so but I've heard a lot of awesome things about it because I've heard it's the best one, competitive wise and gameplay wise. It's the best. So that's arguable, but I don't know. It seems to be like the general consensus about it. Um, Other than that though, really didn't play them. I played Minecraft and League of Legends, which are two games that I felt I was really sick of at the time, but I haven't touched Minecraft in a while. And League of Legends is actually pretty fun because I started playing support. I know that you don't care for that game, but support is actually kind
It's
of
not that
neat.
I don't like League. I just don't like it as much as Dota.
I played Dota, a couple matches of it with you actually. Yeah, that's right. That was I think that was after last week's podcast.
Yeah, it
That was
was.
kind of
We played a bit of Dota.
yeah, that was pretty bad. Mainly because of the people we were dealing with, which
The
dealt with a lot
first
of it.
game was bad. The second game, which I don't think you were in, was not.
Oh no, no, yeah, my Dota crashed and it got you in a game without me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
The
cool.
second game wasn't bad, but not because like it was just because people weren't being retarded, I guess.
Yeah, like that first guy was just griefing the whole time. It's just like, man, yeah. And a lot of
Well, they added like guides and stuff to that game now, which is
really helpful
nice.
because without those, I wouldn't know what to do at the time in any of those kind of games. Dota especially because their item system just kind of seems really really hard to use. Like, I mean, unless if you're not used to it. So I guess Leagues is too, but Dota has more um active equipment, I think.
Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt you. So, the game that the guy made is called Tactical Intervention, and it goes into open beta on the 14th, and then it launches on the 28th, and it's free to play.
What? That's soon. That's
So,
what
I
this
guess
weekend.
this weekend we should play some Tactical Intervention.
Yeah. If it's open beta, hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Plus, it's gonna be free to play, so
And I don't have to pay for it. Even better.
yeah.
Oh wait, OG Planet.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I'm not. I mean, free shooters can be pretty shit though, so I'm
That's
not gonna.
true. But
That's
this one apparently, I mean, it sounds interesting. There's like tactical shields and shit like that. So
yeah. I'll play it.
the only thing, like, really my only worry about it being free to play is how they distribute guns and how progression works and stuff like that. Because obviously they're selling something, which probably
Yeah.
means there's some kind of progression related to guns.
Yeah. Which whatever. Looks like there's a leaning system, like leaning over a wall and stuff, like back and forth.
You mean
Well,
like in
like
the original Call of Duty for PC?
yeah.
Because that shit was awesome and for some
I
reason never made it into any of the other Call of Duty games, which
I
made me really
never
pissed off.
I never liked that like it just seemed weird to me. I don't know why, but it bugged me. Like if it's in a game, I usually never use it.
Yeah, but it makes sense to have it.
It makes sense, yeah, because you can like it adds more realistic movements to what you can do. But
Well, for like a game like COD or Battlefield, like it should just be there.
oh, that's yeah.
At
But
least for COD 4, not for the ones that followed it up, because the ones that followed it up, like the multiplayer, was all about just running really quickly,
hmm
knifing people. It was retarded. But COD 4 on PC was always like a slower game.
kind of like a Counter Strike. I mean, Counter Strike can be pretty quick, but it's
It
usually
wasn't like Counter-Strike slow, but it was slower
but
than every other Call of Duty that came out after it.
yeah. Okay.
So what else have you been playing?
One game that I don't know if you've played yet is Bomber Mine. It's a free browser-based game. It's
No,
like
I don't. I
it's
don't play
like
browser games.
dude, it's okay. It's old school Bomberman, but with like thousands of people on one server. That's their whole like selling point in that game. Even though there's no like selling point 'cause you can buy it, it's fun. It's like a top down, just 2D, blow up bricks and blow up people, just place mines and kick them around. It's fun. It's not like amazing, but the thing about it is it's not. It looks like Bomberman, like all the sprites do, but it's not actually made by people who own Bomberman. So it's like just a free person or like a free developer made it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in it. I don't know.
I mean, it's fun for a couple days and then whatever. Waste a couple hours on it maybe, but nothing like really worth much time. But yeah.
I don't
What
know. I'm just
about
always at my like desktop or I'm at school, and like when I'm at school, I'm like I'm there for school,
mm,
and I mean I'm only there for like 3 hours, but it's like a packed 3 hours with no breaks or anything. So
right? Yeah.
I
So
just
there's not really a lot of time to kill anyways. So
yeah. Plus, we're on these terrible Mac Minis that fucking take 5 minutes to log into.
uh,
They're awful.
why you in Max?
Just in the one lab that I'm in for like
Oh, okay.
technical writing. It's
Yeah.
awful. Most useless skill, technical writing.
Technical writing.
I haven't learned anything.
That's not. I mean, writing. I
Whatever.
hate.
This is a gaming podcast. We don't need to talk about my schooling.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Okay, I got to play a couple games this week. I played Tropical 4, which I've had for a long time. The DLC went on sale this week. So I bought all of that, and I played that because I really wanted to play City Builders after buying SimCity, knowing it was going to be terrible. I bought it purely for the purpose of reviewing it. Only review I've done for MMO Attack that's been, like, received well.
Really?
Yeah. Game's so bad.
You should just start reviewing really shit games.
Well, yeah. I bought it knowing it was going to be bad, but, like, for the purpose of reviewing it, because I guess people like to watch games be bad. But then, which is really disappointing, because it was like I could buy SimCity or I could buy Tomb Raider.
Ooh.
And Tomb Raider looks good, which means
Yeah,
it would have been
it
a better. Also, it would have only been $50, not $90.
Pay 90 for SimCity?
After taxes, yes, because they only have the limited edition or the deluxe digital, and I got the deluxe digital because it came with a bunch of DLC.
Mm.
If I'm gonna get
rough.
a shitty game, I might as well get the DLC with it.
Could I get it all? Yeah, nice.
I also played a bunch of Cities XL Platinum because I was playing SimCity and was just like, you know what, man, I want to build a real city. So I played Cities XL Platinum because that game's great. Best modern city builder of any of them, pretty much. Mostly because the park tool is an actual tool, not just snap-on buildings like the stupid-ass parks in SimCity. You can run sewage lines and stuff. You can run subways. New SimCity, no fucking subways.
Ugh.
No subways.
Subways?
No subways.
Well,
You only have streetcars. The thing is that streetcars just run on the streets. Like, everything is done with how you place down your roads, basically. That's the only thing that matters.
But there's curved roads now, so it's fine.
But you just use like grids because the curved roads are kind of shitty and you can't fit anything in when you use the curved roads. Like, it's a ton of wasted space.
They just look cool. Well,
I wanted to build one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to build a city with a gigantic, like roundabout highway in the middle of it,
mm-hmm.
and then like, how do I explain it? Put like a park in there, and then like I wanted to put city hall, and then like a park all around it. But because the park tool is so shit, like you have to place the parks next to the road. It was just it didn't work. You can't do it. But then I go play Cities XL and I can do that. And Cities XL Platinum came out at the beginning of February and it's only $30.
Ooh.
And it was only $5 for me because I owned Cities XL 2011 and 2012. And you only need to own one of those two to get the game for $5. So, and Cities XL
choice.
has connected cities through online and isn't always online.
There's no DRM for it.
If you don't buy it, you can't play it online. Like if you pirate it, you can't get the online features.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of just always how it is. But the game isn't always online. So if you don't have internet, you can just play it by yourself.
Yeah.
What I will give SimCity is that it has probably the best... I'm sorry, can you hear that? Like a car? Really loud car?
No.
No? Okay. So, what I will give SimCity is that SimCity has the best, like, online integration. And, like, going between the cities in your region is, like, really easy. Everything else about the game is trash.
No, like, cities in your region aren't just... They're like other people's cities, right?
Yeah, but I only play in private regions by myself because if you play with other people and they build, like, upwind of you and then build a bunch of, like, heavy industry that's highly pollutant, then they can kill your city.
Ooh, okay.
Well, they'll kill your approval rating and stuff because you can't fix the problem with the air pollution because it's coming from another city.
Oh.
So if you just play with Randys, then they can screw you.
Yeah.
You have to, like, work together with the people in your region. The thing is that there is no way that, like, that's gonna work out.
Anything else you've been playing this week, then?
Witcher 2. I'm just trying to finish that. I like it. I mean, obviously, I like The Witcher. I just want to beat it. And then I'm probably going to play Dragon Age 1 again.
That's a pretty old game, isn't it?
At this stage, yeah, it's getting pretty old.
Oh.
Dragon Age 2 is terrible. Dragon Age Origins is still amazing and has awesome mods.
Was Dragon Age Origins, was that made by BioWare?
It was made by BioWare, yeah.
Okay, what about 2?
2 is also made by BioWare, but it's like Dragon Effect. Mass Age. Terrible. It's just like completely Mass Effect stylized and like oversimplified. They removed the like you don't really need the pause and play combat anymore because the thing is that, like, Dragon Age Origins was like a top-down party-based RPG where like you controlled 4 people and so you would like pause it, tell everyone what to do, unpause it, then like the enemy would respawn, then you pause it, like adapt your strategy, unpause it. And you don't need to do that in Dragon Age 2 because it's just like an shitty action game.
Okay.
With bad writing and bad story and terrible environments. And they used the same cave like 9 times.
It gets old real fast.
Yeah, well, you'll go into a warehouse and like kill everyone in it for a quest, and you'll get another quest, go into a different warehouse, but it's the exact same layout with the exact same textures and everything. Retarded.
Wouldn't notice.
Awful game.
Glad I didn't play it.
Dragon Age Origins, though, I still consider like a must-play for people who like RPGs, because it's kind of like the last good CRPG.
I haven't touched that either. I'll have to add that to the list of games to play.
Yeah, I think you can only get it on Origins now.
Oh, about that.
Yeah, I don't know where else you can get it because the company that I bought it from Direct to Drive back in the day, but they don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could deal with it. I don't think it'd be quite the same as playing like Battlefield. You don't probably even go through the server management and all that.
No,
So
it's a single player game. You just launch
yeah,
it. There is no online in that game.
yeah.
Other than that, I didn't really play too much. I mean, like I said, I played a lot of SimCity. I like probably okay, I allotted 30 hours of time to SimCity for my review. Spent 15 hours of it waiting to try to get the game to work, basically, like fighting with the servers. And then I spent 15 hours of it playing.
Is that just your review? Screen capping your frustration that you can't log in?
Uh, that would have probably made a better video. I'm gonna do another review on that when they fix the servers, because I spent most of my time in my review like complaining about the servers not working, but I really feel like I didn't talk enough about why the mechanics are terrible. I think I just want to do like a really big video comparing that to Cities XL, because I mean Cities XL is so good, besides the performance issues.
Okay.
So I guess we should probably move on to our first topic.
First topic of the night.
The Steam box. We got lots of Piston stuff.
Yeah, when I saw Pistons, I got excited and thought we were going to talk about Minecraft update. But
Now,
that's just really irrelevant. Anyways. Steam box.
so the Steam box is supposed to go into testing in like the next 3 to 4 months, apparently. Like into well, not public test. Well, I guess public testing. We should see it in the wild.
In the wild. So basically very limited release to a very limited amount of people. That's what it probably is going to boil down to.
It's like beta testing.
Yeah.
But then we also. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think you'll try to get one?
No.
No.
I don't have a use for one.
Yeah. Only use that I see that I like would justify buying it, which it doesn't justify it, but is like a media player, like a media box, but
you can buy those for $100.
you buy those for $100.
Which makes the Steam box a really expensive media extender.
I mean, it would probably play all my MKV files, which is all I need in my life, but nothing can do that right now. Well, I mean, there's stuff that can do that, but I don't have that, so.
Western Digital TV Live.
Yeah, but
I've had one for years and it plays everything. The thing plays OGG Vorbis files. Come on.
I've been looking for a Blu-ray player now, but I don't think I'll get one because I don't think I'm gonna watch Blu-rays. I don't know. I'm in a pickle, but man, like I feel like that's clearly marketed for the Steam box. Not talking about Blu-ray players or anything. It's like for people that don't have a gaming PC right now. That'd probably be a really good move for a really good jump from console to PC would be that. So, but
yeah, well, I mean, the stuff that like the idea behind it is really solid.
yeah.
Did you watch that demo video
Of the UI?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here, let's just move over. So, like, oh, by the way, if you're watching the video podcast, you can see there's that video there. That is thanks to Polygon, because they filmed that. The video quality is obviously ass, but
It does it okay.
that's okay. So, like, that's the UI for it. And they also did a bit of Tomb Raider in there, and the Tomb Raider game was obviously really laggy.
Okay, yeah, that's one thing. When was this released though? This video was this before?
This was this weekend.
Oh, was it? Okay, so like it was actually a full release of Tomb Raider. It wasn't like a
Yeah,
like
but
beta.
the thing is that the Tomb Raider release like is laggy on basically non ATI cards for
Okay,
GPUs, and I don't know what's in the piston.
I don't think they.
Oh, by the way, the piston is like Xi3 or Xi3's Steam box that they're making.
Yeah, very small, very sleek looking actually.
It's
Uh,
tiny.
it's really tiny. It looks like they had like two models of it too, and one was even smaller and just like bolted onto the back of your TV, which is actually pretty neat. Because then you have you take your TV somewhere, you don't have to like clean up.
Well, you can
Like,
do that with like a Zotac Z box.
oh,
There's lots of like tiny PCs that like mount on the back of TVs.
I like that. It's well because it kind of keeps it out of like view. Well, it does, but like you don't have to worry about like setting it somewhere. But yeah, that's it. What they've been saying though, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, they want $1,000 for it, which I think is too
It
much.
it's now I know that you can. You were talking that they have like expansion slots that you can add onto it to make it more powerful.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, they're essentially modular. So what you can do is you can open up the case, take out the graphics card, and slide a new one in.
yeah. So
But
it's
you can do that with every part of it, basically, or at least that's
what.
the idea.
So it's basically just an easy PC, but
Yeah.
a modular PC. Well, I mean, I knew that like at its core it's just a PC, but like it's it's kind of weird that they would start pricing at that. Like that seems really high. Like that's
Well, we don't know
it's
what
like
it's supposed to be tiered, so we don't know what tier this falls into,
that's
basically.
okay. That is true.
Because
'Cause they didn't
Valve
really
doesn't
release
set the
specs.
prices for it; they just set like a guidelines.
Hmm.
It's like old consoles. When consoles first started existing, like there used to be Panasonic used to make like Atari consoles and stuff. Different people made different consoles because all they did was like they licensed off like the right to call it a certain type of console, like to call it an Atari console or whatever. But they
Hmm.
also had to follow like a certain set of guidelines for
Okay,
specs.
yeah, right.
And this isn't really like much of a different situation. This is just like an old school console build where people are making whatever they want with it, but following like the hardware and like design specs. So they have to keep it within like a certain, I guess, form factor. Like it can't be too big, it can't be too loud, can't be too hot.
Right. Hmm. Yeah,
Can we talk a bit about the UI though?
yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about. The
It's
XI3,
retarded.
it's pretty bad. It was they didn't. I don't know. It's not really well put out. It's just a list of things. It looks kind of
Okay, it's
bad.
just a list of things, but the way the list actually works is stupid. Like you click on it and you can like change it to work with Steam or Origin.
Right.
The thing is that like it doesn't. Okay, if this is supposed to work, this is like counteractive to the idea of big picture, which is something that you would want working on all of these things. Where
Yeah.
like the idea of big picture is so that you can navigate using like a controller.
Yeah.
And this interface is like really highly mouse driven
I
because you
could
have
see
to go
that.
through these lists. And the thing is that because the systems aren't closed off, like you could buy games that don't have DRM, for example. So
Mhm.
like in your gaming section, you have like Steam, Origin, Gaikai. Like you have all these services,
Yeah.
but what happens when you start installing like just games? You just have
Oh,
like a
right.
shitload of games.
Yeah. That list just gets huge. Well, that kind of I don't know. I mean, I feel like clearly this isn't what it's going to end up to be, and they're just showing off maybe like what they think they might do, but
I hope this isn't what it ends up being because
Oh,
it
no, me
needs to be
either.
changed.
It
Because
didn't make much sense. They spent a lot of time like clicking on each one, showing that you can change the color of it, which what the hell does that matter? Because there was no purpose to the colors. Like they were like you can change the
it
color of
like
the block.
changes the face on the block, but you don't do anything with the block. So what the?
I thought like if the block actually had like the colors like of like on the cube itself in the video had the colors like it does when it pops out when you're highlighted over it, and like you could just click on that and it would bring up like the menu of the game. It'd be neat rather than like a list of like I don't know. It's kind of
It doesn't matter
it's like
because they've done something that's like kind of stylized but not practical, and at the end of the day, you just
yeah,
need something that's practical and you need something that's usable with a controller.
right. And like you were saying, I mean, like what was weird too is I think they didn't even bring up big picture. They brought up like legit Steam on it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's like not doing what it should be doing because it's gonna be on your TV. It's not gonna like
Well, okay, you
yeah.
can
Well, I
use
guess
if you're using this as like a desktop PC or not even a desktop, but like you want to use it as like a mouse and keyboard interface, then you should be able to do that, and this will work perfectly okay for that. Besides the clicking through drop-down menus multiple times to get to what you want to actually do,
they took the
but
Windows 8 approach.
like there's no way that you could go through this using a controller, and so
I
like
mean,
you need to have both of those options available.
I
And the thing is that everyone knows you can build a mouse and keyboard interface. It already exists in Linux now. Like, well, at least it already exists in like every OS. So now let's see you build an OS that works with a controller, because that's the big selling point, is being able to use this as basically like a console replacement.
yeah. I feel like it it could be navigated with a controller. I mean, it's just lists. You could just click on it and have the other drop down menu open and then scroll through that with your
Yeah, but it's a
joystick.
shitty way to do it.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, it'll work. Especially when like you're going through your music, that just becomes a huge hassle. Like it's gonna be a huge list of music, and it's not friendly for a controller. But it didn't look. It looked like it was like a iTunes player, which I don't see like how that would even be good using a
Yeah, it
controller.
just
Like
opened into iTunes. I don't know
yeah,
how they're gonna fix that, but I mean, like the main OS, like the main part, that primary screen at the beginning, you need to be able to, you need to be able to navigate that with a controller.
hmm I mean, I don't see the a huge problem. It would be kind of clunky, but you could do it. I mean, it's just like I said. I mean, you're clicking on the menu that brings up like a sub menu, but the way they do it's also kind of weird because it opens up like a list on the other side that you have to click on too, which is kind of more of when you click on gaming, it should like pop up with like a screen with like all your choices rather than like a side screen. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's stupid. It should work kind of like it when you click on gaming, it should open up to like just show big icons of your services, like
yeah,
when you
like
open up Chrome.
yeah, and and it should operate like big picture. Let's be honest, big picture does it well. I mean, it's not like what the chatting system, the internet browsing on it, and the games on it, like searching through your library, it worked really well. It's really fluid and it's made for the controller. So they just need to take some pointers and go from there. Because I think, I mean, it is a demo, and but that is really recent. That was South by Southwest. So
Yeah, that was just this weekend.
yeah, so it's not like I don't know. I mean,
It would have been on
when
like
they're-
Saturday.
if if they still have 3 to 4 months though, it looks like they have the hardware aspect down. So maybe it's
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect a release until the end of the year. I mean, it's supposed to go into like beta testing in 3 or 4
beta test,
months.
right? Right. So um, hopefully that's a big feedback is on the UI. But um, I think that showing Tomb Raider was kind of a mistake too. Um, mainly for the fact that it lagged and not
Yeah, but
like you
that's
said,
stuff that they can fix is the
well,
thing.
well that's a new release.
And the way that they
So
worded it though also wasn't like they didn't outright say you can just play Tomb Raider. They like were showing that it can run it. Um
not the not really well.
Yeah, but like I said, hardware needs to be tweaked. Drivers need to be like this could be something that just can be fixed with software stuff.
right,
Because to
and
be fair, that everything but the ATI cards have kind of shitty performance. Like
right.
the hair
So
effects,
yeah,
half the frame
trust.
rate on like
Well,
Nvidia cards.
yeah. Well, it was more of a like if you're marketing this and you show that video, not that I mean like me, okay, we get it because it's a new release. They might be running like the wrong hardware for it, so it runs a little worse than it would. But like if you're marketing this for people at South by Southwest, you want to show them like a game that can actually be played fluidly. And I don't like it was kind of weird how they did it, to be honest. Like the transition was here we're in Steam and then all of a sudden like your game's playing. I was kind of like the transition really was like I don't know, fast for me.
Yeah,
I mean, like I don't know how like if it was running in the background and they just switched to it and started playing it, or if it was like just video feed because it seemed really weird to me. But
if it was
I'm
just
just
a video feed, it wouldn't have lagged.
it would have been That's
They
true.
like if this was a bull shot, they wouldn't have made it lag.
That,
So
they fucked it up either way. Yeah. Well,
I'll be astounded if they were like, "Look, this can play Tomb Raider," and just like played a video of it and it's fucking lagging.
make it look more authentic. Uh, but yeah, I mean,
I'm not worried
overall,
about them showing it off and seeing it lag. To be honest, like I'm just not worried about it at all because I know that like obviously it's not a finished product. It's probably not hardware's probably not been finalized. Software's definitely not been finalized.
right?
And like doing driver new PC games, especially when you have like Tomb Raider, which is running like ass on a ton of stuff already. Um,
Yeah. Well,
like
it was
I'm
more.
not surprised that it runs even worse on something that's not the same hardware that's like in any other PCs. So
It was more just I was trying to note that like marketing it. It's a kind of a. I mean, like we know that it like it can run bad. Like
I don't
it's
know.
running
I'd
bad.
rather see it progress and like hear news about it than like
Yeah,
see it like be silent for 6 months and then have it just pop up and be like, "This is gonna be
yep,
$1,000."
that's true. I yeah yeah make us get our wallets ready for the um
I think it's less of a marketing thing that they were showing it off at like South by Southwest, and
more
more of a like this is
technical.
isn't vaporware basically.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wanna wanna switch topics now to something really nice.
Yeah, we barely talked about this, but well, we've touched on it a little. But let's talk about Simdenburg,
What
the
a great.
SimCity launch that is just awful. It's like this is one of the worst. This is the worst games launch that I think I've ever seen. This is worse than World of Warcraft's launch.
Is
It,
it worse than Diablo? Diablo to me
Diablo
is the
3 is the worst one of recent memory,
yeah
but
the worst one
it's
I've played.
better than this. Um,
Way to go, Blizzard. uh, I'm kind of glad I was interested in this game, but not that I'm not anymore. But I'm glad I didn't get it right away.
yeah, well, it's entirely broken. I mean, you have to play online for the game to really work
Not
because you can't. The city limits are so small that you can't build like a self-sufficient city. So you need to have other cities connected to it to provide it with like sewage treatment and power and jobs. And yet
you,
you can't do that without the servers and they're never on. Like you drop every 15 minutes.
I I would refuse to play.
Like this is a game that was performing so badly that Amazon had to take it down.
Amazon's reviews were when I saw it, it was like the 1 star, the lowest rating you could give it, were like that was like the 90% majority of it. It was
There was
pretty
an
bad.
amazing 5-star review that went somewhere along the line of, "Thanks for releasing this game, Maxis. Because I've spent so much time waiting for the servers, I got time to do things that I would never do in my real life, like pay attention to my kids or go outside."
uh, yeah.
Pretty much, like the it was so broken. Even the launch, like this is before the server issues. This is just them unlocking the game was
Mhm.
broken. They did something really smart, which was actually unlocking keys like in a staggered order in order to basically reduce the server load like right at launch so that
Yeah.
you didn't just have every person who pre-ordered the game right on at midnight.
Yeah. Makes
But
sense.
they fucking unlocked them like the pre-orders staggered, but if you bought the game right at midnight, you just could play it and download it.
Yes.
So I had to wait
Yeah.
4 hours for my game to
To even
unlock.
start downloading it?
Yeah,
Wow.
because you couldn't preload.
No, that I feel like that's a really bad move. It's not being like I don't know who really decides that because a lot of games on Steam you can't preload, but there are certain titles you can, and that is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, well, if you're preloading, you have like there's work that has to be put into that to like
Yeah,
lock it.
that's true.
But you couldn't preload the game, and they unlocked it like only they staggered the unlocks only for the pre-orders.
Not for people that just bought it right away. That's funny. Was there like a pre-order bonus to make it?
Yes and no. Yes, there was a pre-order bonus, but they extended it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh,
Assholes.
yeah. That's even better. Well, is it has it been made any better recently?
You can log in and play the game, which is a big improvement over the first 2.5 days. Pretty much, you couldn't play the game Tuesday, you couldn't play the game Wednesday, and you couldn't play the game Thursday.
Ooh.
And then you couldn't play it Friday at peak hour.
I mean, did they not realize they would have? Oh, was it mainly because the servers were managed like
There weren't
poorly,
enough
or
of
was it
them.
weren't enough of them? Like, why wouldn't you think with the amount like with, like pre-orders and then kind of like say, hey, we need a lot of servers? Wouldn't that kind of make sense? Or did they just not think it would sell that well?
I don't
Just
know.
kind of uh,
They
it's
it's
just
not it's they didn't think so many people were going to be on concurrently, but they also didn't think that like there was so much load on the servers from each person playing the game. Like the load on the servers was so high that they just decided to turn off cheetah speed. So the game has three like speeds: turtle, which is like real time
mm,
simulation, like a minute 1-to-1 basically.
oh
Um, llama, which is like normal, which is like not very fast, and then cheetah, which is like 1 minute to 1 second, and that thing's a lifesaver. Like you need it to play that goddamn game, so that you can
yeah,
like make some money, so you can build some stuff. But they turned it off.
no,
It would be like if Diablo 3 launched and they're like, "Oh, there's too much server load. Let's just slow the game down by 2/3."
yeah. We're not gonna let you be able to play this class because you can't handle it. Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so bad that
that's
they just decided to give everyone a free game. Apparently,
really
yeah, but I don't know what
that's
that's
not
gonna be. They're like,
that's
"We're
not
gonna give you guys a free game," but it's like, but what games are eligible for this free game?
yeah, it's gonna be something that they haven't sold in like 4 years.
Maybe it'll be Tomb Raider because that's on Origin.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get Tomb Raider,
Huh. Um.
which would have been the better purchase. But people
Yeah.
don't want to listen to good reviews; they want to listen to bad reviews.
Hmm.
I don't even know if you can play the game right now because it's peak hour.
That's That's bad. For it's not. There's no like monthly subscription to this game, is there?
No.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, you need the servers online to play this,
Yeah.
and they just aren't there. Every time that I go to play, like, I'll be running my server, or I'll be running my city. Everything will be going okay. I'll have to build a second city to like build some extra services, and then the connection will just drop to the server, and then my city will just burn down because like they'll stop having sewage collection, they'll stop having garbage collection, they'll stop having fire services, and then my city just falls apart in like the 10 minutes that I'm not connected.
Really? Like, it's that heavily based on the servers?
Yeah, it's really heavily based on the servers because you
I
have to
mean,
have your cities connected. If they
well,
aren't
like,
connected, then you can't have enough services to cover like a proper residential area
well, what if you
because the
just
city
tried?
sizes are so small that you pretty much like have your region and then one city is pretty much going to be like all commercial and residential and one city is going to be all your jobs and services, like all your
Why can't?
industrial.
Can you yourself, like you said, you can make like not play with anybody else and just can you make more than one city? Like,
Yeah, but that still requires always online.
why? That's so. There's no offline mode, so if you had no internet connection, you're still gonna play it.
Yeah.
That's that's so frustrating to me that like because to be honest, it would probably be a game that I would only play with people like I knew or by myself. Like you
Yeah.
said, just because of
It's
like the consequences that can come from it.
it's retarded. Hate that game. Awful. And then just all of like the gameplay changes, I guess, like the no subways, the no sewage pipes, the no power lines, the no highways, no
They don't
random
have
maps, no random city, like no terraforming. Um,
they don't have highways.
no, you just build like avenues and roads, and then the highway that like your city's connected to, it's always connected to the same spot because the cities aren't randomized.
Oh, they're like in like the corner, and it's just like you can see. Yeah, I
It's just like
might have.
the highway is going by this city. This is where it connects, so this is where your city always starts.
It's kind of shit.
Yeah. There's no
So
terraforming. You don't get to choose like what type of bridges you place down. There's like only one map that has water going through the middle of it.
because this isn't the first. Like, how many SimCities have there been? There's been this is five,
Yeah, this is the fifth one.
and were there these features in the previous ones?
Yeah, they took out basically all the features that let you make really interesting building or like really interesting cities in the
Hmm.
previous ones, and then also took down the city size to 1/10 of the size of SimCity 2000 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, the city size has been substantially reduced. This is like this is a huge flop. It's a terrible game, and I can't understand anyone who's defending it because it's just not good. Like it's really bad in comparison to every other SimCity game. SimCity 4 with mods is a far superior game. SimCity 4 vanilla is a far superior game. And then you look at a game like Cities XL or Tropico where they don't cost anywhere near $60 and those are better games. Tropico 4, which is where you build like a city on a small island, like literally a tiny island. Like one of the game designs is that you have a really small space to work in. That game has just as much like land space as SimCity does for building. And it has more building types in it. SimCity has almost no building types in it. It's so
When did
bad.
Tropical 4 come out?
Like a year and a half ago.
That's pretty cheap. It's like $10. Special collector's bundle.
Yeah, but it's on sale right now, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, that would make sense.
But it's totally worth $10, so
Yeah.
if you're really itching to play a city builder, I really suggest
ca-
Tropical 4 because it's really good.
Kinda am. It's,
And then Cities XL is worth it if you have like a really fast single core processing, because that game stupidly only runs on one core, and so if you have like a really fast processor, then
yeah.
it's totally worth it. Like I overclock my PC. I usually turn off two of my cores. Like if I want to play that game for like a day, pretty much sit down and like build something crazy and like 24-hour marathon that, I'll turn off a
Hmm.
core. I'll turn off 2 cores on my processor and like overclock it up higher, because that game only runs on 1 core, so you need really fast 1 core processing, or else you have to
Wow,
keep reloading your city once it gets really really big.
that's nuts.
So yeah, the
I,
performance issues with Cities XL suck, but the game is really good.
it looks pretty fun. Looks I might have to work into one of these games because I've only like I mean I like tycoon games too, which are kind of similar, but more of a smaller general like special scale. And I really haven't like I think I played one of the SimCities. I don't know which one it was, but only for a little while. But they're pretty addicting. So
Yeah, well, SimCity is good. They just oversimplified like this one, the reboot. Everything that made like a city builder has basically been taken out. It's like
yeah,
it's a, it's a city builder for like a 6-year-old.
yeah.
It's pretty broken.
Will not be picking that up.
Want to move on to our last topic?
Yeah, I do.
Did you ever play Thief 4? I mean, Thief 4. Did you ever play any of the previous Thief games?
No, I not. Unfortunately, as much as I've heard so many great things about them and how many Steam sales there have been for this game, I've not touched them.
Well, Thief. Okay, I probably am a bit of a standalone on this. A lot of people think Thief 2 is the best stealth game of all time. I personally think Thief 3 is the best stealth game of all time. Uh, a lot of people bitch that Thief 3, much like Deus Ex Invisible Warfare, has like really small worlds because Thief 3 was the first one on consoles, and it was made by the same guys who made Deus Ex and Invisible War.
Didn't know that either until I watched that trailer.
And but Thief 3 was made by Ion Storm, and it was it so it used to be more of like an open world game. Well, not open world, but like you had really big environments and there were no
Right.
load screens. But because this was like an Xbox game, well, it was a PC and Xbox game, there ended up
Hmm.
being smaller environments and lots of loading screens. But it's a lot better than in Deus Ex Invisible War. The environments are much bigger than Deus Ex Invisible War,
Okay.
so it's not that bad. However,
Yeah.
it is a change. There was also some mechanical changes, but I really think that Thief 3 is the best one, especially because of the hub world, because that's awesome. Um, so Thief 4 has been like something. It's been some. There's been an official website for it forever, and now they finally announced like what they've announced the game though now, so like you know what it's going to be about, kind of. Massively disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. Um, so Thief 1, 2 and 3 have like lots of magic in them and stuff, and they're about a guy named Garrett. He's the master thief, and he came when he was a child. He like came in contact with the Watchers or Keepers, and they like there's this opening cinematic where he's like in like the first one where he's a child and he comes in contact with his secret order, and like pretty much from then on he's like raised to be a thief and do all this. He's special basically as a result. And Thief 3, the way it ends, like it wraps up Garrett's storyline completely, and then he he like passes by this small girl who's a child. Like she's a child, she's just a little girl, but
Hmm.
it's like the same cinematic as the one that had Garrett when he was a child, but with his little girl. And so the obvious choice is Thief 4. You play as this girl. That's the
Right.
obvious choice. But they're just rebooting it, and you play as Garrett.
Ooh.
And I was like, damn it, Eidos. You had the perfect chance to, like, continue the series. Because
It
it worked. If you're playing a completely new character
it's like
in
a
the
reboot
same, but in the
anyways.
same world, then you're not going to piss off the actual fans of the game.
Right.
And because it's a whole new character, You don't feel
Yeah.
like that need to play the previous ones, even though this is just a reboot. So you don't need to play the previous ones anyways from a story standpoint. But now you're fucking with the original canon,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
just gonna piss off fans.
that could have been a very easy reboot without, like you said, making people mad because
Yeah, well, it could be a Thief game with a whole new character because the whole storyline was like tied up. And the thing is that Garrett, even though he's like an okay character,
mhm,
like he's not a bad character. I don't not like him or anything. It's just his storyline's tied up, and I don't care if I see him in another game. The thing that like Thief is about is pretty much like game world and mechanics. Because like the Thief series is like the pinnacle of like stealth games.
right. I'm I'm excited for it because I've never played any of them, and it's kind of like not that I wouldn't play like the other ones, but I'll have something to look forward to, and hopefully it's good. But
Yeah,
I
the
really
other
like,
ones are like dated and hard to get working. So
yeah, that's like I looked, and even the third one looks really dated. So it's, but it's kind of exciting because I really like it's what is it, Eidos Montreal working on it. I because they made Deus Ex Human Revolution, so
yeah, and Human Revolution had like some okay stealth in it,
yeah,
just
yeah, it,
okay stealth. But the thing
right.
is, that's not like a stealth game.
Well,
So
that's
I
which
have, I have confidence that they can make a stealth game.
yeah.
They've
Well,
already like said some things, or at least I've read some things that apparently they've said, that have me really pissed off. Like no water arrows, so I can't like in Thief. One of Garrett's like primary things is using his bow,
mhm,
and one of his like big like ammo types is water arrows, so that he can shoot torches to like extinguish them.
right. That's cool, but they're not
So
gonna add
like
that.
if they don't have that, I'm pissed. Cause like that's the problem with them like rebooting a series with the same character in the same world and stuff. You can't mess with the mechanics, and you can't mess with the canon. And it
It's true.
sounds like there's not going to be as much of an emphasis on like magic in this world. It's going to be more just steampunk, which is really disappointing because like the Thief world has always had a ton of magic in it, and I don't want to see that gone. There was always like a lot of religious undertones, and
Hmm.
it's just like it was a really interesting world, and I loved exploring it. And it sounds like they're ruining it for me.
Yeah. I mean, the artwork still looks pretty incredible, but
Oh
if
yeah,
it is like
here I'll switch them. I've got them here. Uh
if it is taking away from like the game though, I mean, from the core game, then it's kind of disappointing.
they posted like a ton of concept. So this is okay. So Game Informer did their like reveal thing, but someone else like 2 days before, a Russian website like leaked a bunch of concept art and in-game screenshots. And the reason why I'm actually confident that they're actually the concept art and in-game screenshots is that a lot of the stuff ended up in the Game Informer like articles.
Right.
So I have a feeling that some of this stuff's legit. It's obviously like all bull shots. Um, Here, let me see if I can find it so I can link it to you. Oh, I'm not gonna find it. It doesn't matter. Um, they're on Rock Paper Shotgun, but like a lot of the stuff that was leaked was obviously just like bull shots, where it's like this is kind of in game but really touched up.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't really care about the redesign and stuff. I just it sounds like they're making it a bit more of an action game where like you can actually fight, which has always sucked because like in Thief you could fight a little bit, but you pretty much died in like one hit.
Yeah.
It just sounds like there's obviously it's really early, but it sounds like they possibly are ruining this for me.
There's no, is there any like expected release date or like this is like the first they've revealed about it, so
Before they did this, the expected release was always the end of 2013.
Okay.
It's what everyone's always said, and so I'm just gonna continue to say end of 2013, early 2014 because that's just what people were assuming before they like announced it. Because it's initially like there was a site up from Eidos that was like Thief 4, but the E was a 4, and it was
Yeah.
up for a really long time. There was forums, people talked. I really want this game to be good though, because we never get good stealth games.
Yeah, like you said, in Deus Ex, I kind of played a stealth character, and it didn't really work out for me. So it was kind of like it worked out,
Yeah, that's
but
because the boss battles were broken otherwise.
yeah, the bosses were freaking hard. So I mean, it was still a fun game, but like it just didn't have that level. They added like a silent sniper rifle and some other gun.
Who cares? Oh gee, you froze up.